Hey everyone, hopefully you're still enjoying what's left of the weekend. Mr. Finian is finally awake for what I hope is at least a week or so. He's been really weird about his brumation this year, very in and out. Up for a week, down for 2 weeks, up for a week, down for a week, up for a week, down for 2 more weeks. It's just been really so strange, and it's so not typical of him that I finally, asked the veterinarian, if this is something that I should be concerned about. I mean, he's not showing any signs of illness or anything. He's only lost about 10 grams, which is kind of amazing considering the up and down thing is causing him to not really want to eat very much because he knows he's probably going to go back to sleep. But, he's fine, except I have been worried about this up and down thing. And she said, unless he's showing some pretty obvious signs of illness, you're not showing any illness, are you, Finian? No, because you're so handsome. She said then not to worry about it, that she's had several dragon owners calling on this very same issue, and that seems to be kind of typical happening this year and part of last year. So I asked her if that might be related. Really, Finian, you're going to give us a nod? Yeah, you saying hi to Ruby? Yeah, or are you saying hi to Merlin? I'm not sure, but you're saying hi to somebody. If I asked her if it was climate change related, and she said that she really thought it was. Apparently they're kind of stumped in the veterinary community about, what's happening with some species that are dependent upon seasonal changes to live their lives. So bearded dragons being one of them. A lot of reptiles are. As if it's not hard enough that we bring them over from, or originally we brought them over from Australia. And then we were like, we realized that our summer and winter is exactly opposite of yours, but here you are, make the best of it. So we're just going with it. I'm just letting him make the call. If he wants to be up, that's fine. If he wants to be asleep, that's fine. Until we get some consistent, typical weather around here, then what Finn says goes. So that's where we are. But to give an update, so I originally, in my trek to try to find some engineering people who might be able to come up with a mobility device to help him with this back end over here that tends to drag more than it works. Today it's not terrible. I mean, he's got both of his legs pulled up instead of leaving them behind him, which is his normal state of affairs. But he's dragging them most of the time. I mean, check out this dude's forearms. I mean, look, he's got biceps and a forearm muscles like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's a chunk. The boy has got guns from lugging his back end together here. So I originally talked to Canine Carts. They flat out said, we've done, all the way down to a 2-pound rabbit. But the problem is, because I said, well, then can you do a 1-pound reptile? And they said, well, unfortunately, we really can't, because if you get an animal less than 2 pounds, the materials, oh, now I know you're waving at somebody. The materials that they have to use to manufacture the mobility carts are heavy enough that a 1-pound animal would likely not be able to utilize it because he wouldn't have enough strength to move the mechanism for as heavy as it is. So, yeah, you're definitely talking to Ruby because those are very gentle bobs you're doing. And a little wave to tell her you're not a threat. Because if you were waving at Merlin, you'd be banging your chin on the table. So I'm pretty sure it's Miss Ruby over there. Yeah, she's watching you too. So they said, we recommend that you contact your local colleges and see if they have an engineering department. And if so, then ask if they have a student or a teacher that would like to make a project out of building a mobility cart for such an adorable animal. So I thanked them, and I went on to the next phase, which was, I contacted, because we're in Southern California, so I contacted UCLA and said, hey, I talked to the Dean of Engineering. I sent him a big, long email explaining the situation, sent him a picture of Finn. They're about 90 minutes to 2 hours away, and we said, we would make the drive if you needed measurements or whatever we needed to do. Basically, he sent it back saying, yeah, sorry, we're not something we could do. I recommend you call the community colleges. Okay. Well, one of them, I couldn't even get a hold of anybody. And the other one didn't have an engineering department to pull from. So it was a dilemma, and I was very disheartened, and I was very frustrated. So I sort of put the word out to people that I know, and come to find out, instead of looking at colleges, I should have looked at special education. As it turned out, there's a friend of mine who is a special education teacher, has a colleague that teaches at a charter school out here, or a co-op school out here, that said, I have a student who just loves to tinker and build things and know how things work. And, if you wouldn't mind, we'd really like to take a shot at this. I said, mind? I would be so deliriously happy with you. So we made an appointment, and I took Finian out there, and we talked about what did it need to do, what size did it need to be, how would it best work for him, how much of his back area needed to be in the cart. Like, did it need to just be, this much? Did we need to include this much? If we had it smaller, would the stability be a question? How high off the ground does it need to go? Because wheel size matters. What kind of wheels do we need it to be? So we went over and over that. And after thinking about it, the young man said, I'd like to make a 3D printed cart for him and see if it would work. I said, 3D printing? Wow. I don't know that much about it, but that sounds amazing. Because one of the big questions, and it was fresh in my mind because of talking to Canine Carts, one of the big questions was, well, if we do this, we have to make sure it's not too heavy, because they had just told me if you're less than 2 pounds, it's kind of an issue. So, I explained that to him. He said, well, the beauty of 3D printed material is it's extremely light, and it offers just enough flexibility that he could, maneuver it how he wanted to maneuver it. And yet it was sturdy enough that he wouldn't be able to break it. So he said, let me work on it. And, it might take, 3 or 4 visits in order to get it just right for him, so that we consider all of the aspects of what we need to do. I said, I would be delighted, because this school happens to be on the outskirts of the town I live in. So by all means, we will come down here whenever you like. So, so that's been now quite a few weeks ago. And so I got a text from his teacher that I spoke to first saying, hey, we have a prototype. Give us a call when this ridiculous rain stops, and let's make an appointment to have you come bring him out and try everything on and see where we need to tweak it. I said, you know what? That would be fantastic. So tomorrow morning, I'll be contacting them to see when can I bring Finn by to try his new cart. So exciting. And I said, is there anything I can do or anything I can provide to you besides my eternal gratitude, which you will absolutely have for him? And the teacher said, you know what? If you would just bring some of your dragons and give us a presentation on these amazing little reptiles, that would be more than enough payment. I said, oh, I'm so happy to do that. So we'll be setting that up too at the end of all this project. So, guys, after looking at college, I should have just started with special ed. I knew better. I have 3 kids that all went through special ed, so that should have dawned on me first. I don't know why it didn't, but anyway. So I'm excited to see what this young man has come up with. And I think what I'm going to do is, if he's able to pull this off and really give Finn a functional cart. And by the way, K9 Carts said if they tried to do something custom for him, it would probably be between $500 and $1,000. So, you know, this we're getting for just for the price of a presentation. But what I'm going to do is encourage the young man to patent it if it works, and determine what kind of a price is appropriate, because I'm pretty sure when Finn's vet sees him in it, she's absolutely going to want to recommend it. And I think the young man needs credit where credit is due. And if he ends up, if I can get somebody from the press, the local press, to come out and cover the story, I'm definitely going to do that, in which case maybe the young man will end up with an engineering scholarship, which would be a win-win for everybody. So, oh, I see. It's Merlin. Merlin's the culprit. He's over there bobbing also. I might have known. So that is how that story panned out. So I am so excited to see what this young man has come up with to put little Finn's back end in there so he can, you know, maneuver around and turn and go straight and go down hills and go slow and go fast and do all of those cool things that he needs to do. I'm hoping it doesn't scare him or he doesn't want to use it for some reason. I mean, obviously there'll be a transition period. This is not a normal thing for a dragon to experience, but I'm excited because I think if it works, it's going to be fantastic for him. So that's the latest scoop with Mr. Finian, right? Yeah. You're such a handsome boy. I'm so glad you're finally up, Finian. I miss you when you sleep. I really do. This is my OG right here. This is my guy. Forever and always. He's my bestie. He's the one that I think is the best ambassador of the species. He is the one that anybody can touch. I mean, after using hand sanitizer. That anybody can have in any setting. He's not flighty. He doesn't have jerky, fast movements. He doesn't go running. He's not unpredictable. He is just 100% perfect. So he's the one that's in the community with me the most often because I know I can trust him. He's also the one that's permanently potty trained. So all good stuff with this guy. Yeah. So I'm so excited to see if he's going to be able to use this cart and really get some fun and run around on the ground and just enjoy being a dragon without having to worry about hurting himself or getting lesions or having something happen to his vent or any of that. If we can do that, that will be an answer to a prayer. So everybody cross your fingers. I'm going to try to get some footage while we're there for the fitting of the cart, the first go round, so you guys can come on the journey with us. So that's what's happening with Mr. Finn. Finian the Amazing Dragon. That's him. Oh, and everybody wish Finian a happy birthday because on the 4th of March, he turned 8 years old. Yes, he did. Yep, he celebrated with some hornworms and, yep, some of his favorite rainbow chard, and he's just excited as excited can be. Yeah. And such an amazing guy. I am so excited that he's just doing so well. I wish I could stop the aging process because we all know how that book ends, but yeah, but I'm going to celebrate every minute I have with him for sure. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for the low 5, Finn. Appreciate that. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. Yeah. Finn says, thanks for the birthday wishes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Finian. Happy birthday to you. And many more, Mr. Handsome. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.